Hello guys, my name is Sampath. Today we are going to learn ICSE class 7 geography, weather and climate. We are going to learn in the chapter weather and climate introduction, difference between weather and climate, elements of weather and climate, what are the elements of weather and climate, next weather instruments, what are the weather instruments used to measure the various elements of weather and climate, wind vane and anemometer, brief explanation with diagram, isotherms and isosheets, meaning and diagrams only. Next, first of all, weather and climate introduction. Weather is the name given to the changing conditions of the atmosphere of air or air which surrounds the earth. Weather conditions include wind, storms, rain, snow, temperature, humidity and sunshine. Hence, weather can be defined as the day-to-day condition of the atmosphere at any place as regards temperature, pressure, rainfall, winds, and humidity. Weather is never static and hence cannot be generalized. Here they give you the weather definition. Weather can be defined as the day-to-day condition of the atmosphere at any place as regards temperature, rainfall, winds, and humidity. Weather is never static and hence cannot be generalized, since it is not fixed. Suppose the weather condition today is maybe cloudy and tomorrow may be sunny. Weather may vary from place to place. It may be raining heavily in one part but may be sunny in other parts. Suppose it is raining here now present, but it may be sunny in other parts of northern India. Therefore, weather can be subject to change as it is affected by the factors like altitude and water bodies. The factors that affect the weather conditions from place to place are like altitude and water bodies. Now, difference between weather and climate. Weather, we already know the definition of the weather. Weather is the day-to-day condition of the atmosphere which surrounds the earth. The weather conditions may include wind, temperatures, storms, rain, snow or sunshine. Daily weather is predicted by meteorologists based on their daily records of atmospheric conditions at the weather stations. Weather is predicted by meteorologists, who are known as meteorologists. The scientists who study of the weather conditions are known as meteorologists. At weather stations, they record the atmospheric conditions daily. Well, on the other hand, when we speak of climate, we mean the average atmospheric conditions of area or over a considerable time. For a climate average, a minimum period of 30 years is desirable. Here, the day-to-day conditions are known as weather. The average of the weather conditions of a large area over a long period of time, nearly of 30 years, is known as climate. Climate involves the systematic observations, recording and processing of various elements of climate: air pressure, humidity, winds, clouds and sunshine. Before any standardization of the climate, example, the climate of Malaysia is described as hot and wet equatorial type. Hence, climate is defined as, here they give the definition of the climate: the average weather conditions of the atmosphere, temperature, atmospheric pressure, winds, humidity and precipitation of a large area over a long period of nearly 30 years. Next, weather forecasting. What do you mean by weather forecasting? Weather forecast is a forecast which tells the weather conditions of tomorrow. So these are known as weather forecasting. Meteorology is the science that deals with the study of weather. Meteorologists are the scientists who study the weather conditions. Have learned about meteorologists. Meteorology. Meteorology is a science that deals with the study of weather. Weather forecast is issued by the country's meteorological department. You often hear these weather forecasts on radio and television. The reports are based on the data collected by weather bureaus or meteorological stations. We often hear these weather forecasts in radio or television. The reports are based on the data collected by the weather bureaus or meteorological stations. They use various weather instruments to gather a wide range of data on the basis of which the weather maps are prepared. Ships, weather rockets, weather balloons, and weather satellites are used to monitor the daily weather. Here we can see the instrument weather balloon. That's all. Next, coming to GOES. This is a satellite, geostationary operational environmental satellite. It provides continuous monitoring of the atmospheric conditions such as tornadoes, flash floods, hailstorms, and hurricanes. In addition, they include warnings of hazards, weather such as heavy rains, floods, snowfall, or strong winds. Most national forecasts predict weather reports for their own countries. They focus on the aspect which has the most impact on their country. Example: rainfall, temperature forecasting in India, and hurricane forecasting in the North America. Elements of weather and climate. Now we are going to learn about the elements of weather and climate. Weather and climate of a place or region are based on various elements like temperature, pressure, winds, precipitation, humidity, etc. We know that the envelope of air that surrounds the earth is called atmosphere. Earth is the only planet that is situated at an appropriate distance from the sun and has an atmosphere consisting of gases like oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon dioxide. All these factors are responsible for existence of life on the earth. The daily activities and economic activities of man like communication, electronic services, food and clothing, etc. depend on the elements of weather and atmospheric conditions. Hence, a careful study of each of elements will help us to understand and vary nature of these essential elements. The important elements of weather and climate are as follows: temperature, prevailing winds, precipitation, clouds, atmospheric pressure, humidity, and sunshine. There are nearly of 7 types of elements of weather and climate: temperature, prevailing winds, precipitation, clouds, atmospheric pressure, humidity, sunshine. Temperature. Temperature is the measure of how hot or cold a thing or place is. Temperature is the measurement of how hot or cold a body or place is. Temperatures vary greatly throughout the world due to various reasons. These are various factors that affect temperature: latitude, altitude, nearness to the sea, terrain, oceans, currently soil, winds, seasons, time of the day, and even vegetation. Temperature is measured with the help of thermometer. Next, coming to the new word, atmospheric pressure. What is atmospheric pressure? Atmospheric pressure is the pressure exerted by the weight of the atmosphere on the Earth's surface. This pressure varies from place to place and also from time to time. We are surrounded by air on the earth, but we do not see it, yet we feel the pressure of air. Therefore, air pressure and winds are invisible elements of weather and climate. This is the main point. What are the invisible elements of weather and climate? Air pressure and winds. The variations of weather which influence the components of weather, it means temperature and humidity. The variations in the air pressure from place to place occur due to the differential heating of the atmosphere. This causes the movement of winds, which serve as the means of transporting heat and moisture from one region to another. Like any other material object, the air has also weight. This is evident while we are walking or driving against the wind. This is because the air is a mixture of gases. The force exerted by a column of air on the Earth's surface is known as atmospheric pressure. The amount of pressure exerted by air at a particular point is determined by two factors: temperature and density. Atmospheric pressure decreases with increase in latitude. We know here the give atmospheric pressure decreases with increase in altitude. Altitude means height. As the height increases, the lower levels, the air flows from high pressure to low pressure. So here it is when it is in a specific altitude, the pressure will be exerted on the lower surface of the earth. So the atmospheric pressure decreases with increase in latitude. It is also inversely proportionate to the temperature. It means higher the temperature, lower the pressure, and vice versa. Atmospheric pressure is measured most accurately with the help of a mercury barometer. What is the instrument used to measure atmospheric pressure? Mercury barometer. Next, the standard level pressure is given as 1034 gram per square centimeter sea level. This pressure is equal to 29.92 inches or 76 millimeters. They give on your textbook, on ICSE textbook, but it's not 76 millimeters. If you have doubt, you can search in Google too. It's 760 millimeters. Now, coming to prevailing winds. Wind direction also affects the temperature of a place. Winds coming from warmer areas would increase the temperature of a region, while the winds coming from colder region decrease the temperature. Example: winds blowing from hot regions like deserts increase the temperature, while those blowing from polar regions decrease the temperature. Humidity. Humidity is the amount of water vapor in the atmosphere. Humidity varies greatly from place to place as well as from time to time. The actual amount of water vapor present in the atmosphere is called absolute humidity. It is measured in grams per cubic meter. In weather recordings, we measure a different type of humidity known as relative humidity. It is the ratio between the actual amount of water vapor present in the air and the total amount of water vapor the air can hold at a given temperature. The relative humidity is expressed in percentage. Absolute humidity. It is the actual amount of water vapor present in the atmosphere. It is measured in grams per cubic meter. Whereas coming to relative humidity, it is the actual amount of the ratio between the actual amount of water vapor present in the atmosphere and the total amount of water vapor the air can hold at a given temperature is expressed in percentage. This is the difference between absolute humidity and relative humidity. Coming to precipitation. Precipitation is defined as water in liquid or solid stage falling on the earth. The water can be fallen as hail, snow, sleet, rain, and drizzle are the common forms of the precipitation. Sunshine. Sunshine is determined by the season and latitude of a place and the amount of clouds cover in the sky. Places near the tropics experience plenty of sunshine as compared to places in the higher temperature altitudes. During summers, these are longer hours of sunshine. Cloudy skies keeps out sunshine and these affect weather. Besides the above mentioned factors that factor weather, there are elements such as haze, mist, and fog that reduce visibility. Next, come to clouds. A cloud is a mass of small water droplets or tiny ice crystals that float in the air. When the temperature of air is below dew point, the water vapor condenses into small droplets of water around small particles such as dust or smoke. These tiny impurities are called condensation nuclei. Without these condensation nuclei, the clouds cannot form. Clouds look white because the droplets and crystals that scatter light. When clouds block the sun, they look grey in color. The clouds are classified and given different names based on their shape, height, and where they are formed. Examples: cirrus, cumulus, stratus, nimbus, and cumulonimbus. Here they gave four types of clouds mainly. Cirrus clouds. These are feathery, fibrous clouds which form at a very high level of 5 to 10 kilometers. They are wisps of cloud and floating in the sky. They consist of teeny crystals of ice. Next, cumulus clouds. These are cauliflower-shaped clouds that have great vertical height and a flat base. They cause rainfall with lightning and thunder and are usually white or gray in color. Shadow clouds. These are sheet-like clouds that spread all over the whole sky. They usually form at low levels less than 2 kilometers. They are uniformly gray and dull. Next, come to nimbus clouds. These are really rain clouds. Thick, dark, and black, and spread out in layers. They cause continuous rain or snow. Now, coming to the most interesting topic: weather instruments. What are the various weather instruments used to measure weather elements? To collect various climatic data and to prepare maps and charts, the following elements of weather and climate are normally observed and measured by weather instruments. First of all, temperature, atmospheric pressure, humidity, rainfall, and sunshine. Temperature. How is temperature measured? What is the instrument used to measure the temperature? Temperature is a very important element of climate and weather. It is term used to express the intensity of degree of heat. The sun is the main source of heat for the earth, but the sun rays do not heat the whole surface of the earth equally. Due to the earth's sphericity and inclined axis, there is unequal distribution of the solar energy. The amount of heat at any place therefore depends mainly on the duration of the sunlight, the angle at which the sunrise strike the earth. Recordings of the temperature. Temperature can be defined as the degree of hotness or coolness of air at a particular place. So what are the instruments used to measure temperature? Are 1. Thermometer, 2. Maximum and minimum thermometer, 3. Stevenson's scale. First of all, thermometer. Thermometer. Temperature is measured with the help of a thermometer. A thermometer is a narrow glass tube filled with a liquid. The liquid used in thermometers are mercury and alcohol. In Fahrenheit, the freezing point of water is 32 degrees, while its boiling point is 212 degrees Fahrenheit. In our country, a temperature is recorded in Celsius scale. Well, in Celsius scale, the freezing point of water is 0 degrees Celsius and boiling point is 100 degrees Celsius.